to be a prince or a princess, not knowing what the gender would be, which would be different from protocol, and that he wasn't going to receive security.
It seems like Meghan Markle's time in the royal spotlight might be nearing its end. And it's all thanks to something Prince Harry said that has everyone talking. What exactly did he reveal that has people questioning the future of their royal roles? Is this the moment that Meghan is shown the exit door for good? With tensions rising and royal drama continuing to bubble beneath the surface, it seems like the story is far from over. Is this the breaking point, or is there more chaos to come? One thing is clear: the royal spotlight is back on full blast, and whatever unfolds next is bound to keep people talking for a long time. Stick around as we break down all the intriguing details. Prince Harry recently made a quick trip back to the UK, and while he officially stated that it was for a court case, those closely following royal affairs believe he didn't necessarily need to be there in person. Meanwhile, King Charles and Queen Camilla were off enjoying a high-profile trip to Italy, but the headlines quickly shifted to Harry, once again. This, understandably, did not sit well with some royal insiders. They're reportedly growing increasingly frustrated with this recurring pattern. Every time there's a major moment for the royal family, Harry, and occasionally Meghan, somehow end up stealing the spotlight. After his court appearance, Harry didn't stick around in the UK. Instead, he flew off to Ukraine, continuing his work with the Invictus Games, the sporting event he created for wounded veterans. While some applauded him for his meaningful efforts, others questioned the timing of his trip and what message it might be sending. Here's the thing. For quite a while now, Harry has expressed concerns about his safety when visiting the UK. He's even pushed for the British government to cover his personal security while he's there. However, after all this, he turns around and heads to Ukraine, a country embroiled in an ongoing war. This sparked some serious questions. If Harry considers the UK too dangerous for him, why would he feel comfortable flying into an actual war zone? Many commentators found this to be somewhat hypocritical. The situation didn't add up, and some began to wonder whether Harry's safety concerns were just an excuse, maybe even a clever way for Meghan to avoid returning to the UK without having to directly say she doesn't want to come back. This theory has been gaining traction, and as this drama unfolded, some of Harry's past statements were being brought back into the spotlight. A former Home Office official even went public, stating that Harry's claim that he was forced out of the UK simply doesn't hold up. This only added fuel to the fire, with critics pointing out that Harry's version of events seems to change depending on the day. It's all adding to the growing sense of uncertainty about their future, and whether the royal ride for Harry and Meghan is nearing its end. People have started noticing that some of the things Harry's been saying recently don't quite line up with what he wrote in his book Spare. Critics are starting to suggest that Harry might be twisting the facts to match the story he wants people to believe now. This isn't just something said about Harry. Meghan's been accused of shifting stories depending on the situation too. Lately, there's been a lot of chatter about how Harry seems to be spending all his time caught up in court cases and public complaints. Meanwhile, Meghan's been busy with various business ventures and media appearances. Harry, on the other hand, appears to be much more focused on his legal battles and working on his public image. Some commentators have even described Harry as looking a bit lost, like he's not sure where his life is headed. A few went as far as to call him rudderless, like a boat drifting without a clear direction, just floating from one issue to the next without any real plan. When it comes to Harry's relationship with Prince William, things are still pretty tense. Those close to the royal family think the bond between the brothers is deeply damaged. While no one's saying it's totally impossible for them to reconcile in the future, right now, it feels like there's a lot of frustration on William's side, and not just his. Many others in the family are reportedly frustrated too, feeling that Harry has made things worse over time, not better. He seems to keep doing things that make it harder for the family to heal and move forward. As for Meghan, her ongoing absence from royal events is starting to raise eyebrows. If she continues to be seen as the source of constant drama and media manipulation, royal insiders might push to formally cut ties with her, including stripping her of any remaining titles or connections to the monarchy. So, after Harry's comments about not feeling safe in the UK, how has that affected how people see his relationship with Meghan and their overall story? Let's dive in and see. Prince Harry has found himself in the spotlight recently, with a lot of people questioning his marriage, especially after the whole Centabale scandal. This has led many to wonder what's really going on between him and Meghan Markle. While all of this has been unfolding, Meghan has kept a pretty low profile, not showing much public support for Harry. Some have pointed out that despite being active on social media, talking about her brand and praising others, Meghan hasn't once mentioned Harry. She's shared posts about her team and people she works with, like Daniel Martin, but Harry hasn't been part of those shout-outs. There have also been whispers that Harry might be working behind the scenes to protect Meghan's image, doing his best to keep her public reputation strong. But when Harry's been facing tough times, Meghan hasn't exactly been there to return the favor. Some have even suggested that Meghan could have used her platform to distract from the scandal and ease some of the pressure Harry was under, but she didn't. Her silence has led some to believe that she might not be as supportive of him as he has been of her. In the past, Meghan has shown public affection for Harry, like the sweet Valentine's Day message she posted during the Invictus Games. But when the Centabale issue came up, her posts felt completely disconnected from him. Instead, she posted about cupcakes, her work, and her lifestyle brand. Nothing about Harry, even though this seemed like the perfect time to show her support. Then there was the awkward video they appeared in, which was supposed to look like a loving moment, but ended up feeling more uncomfortable than anything. During this time, Meghan didn't post anything that praised Harry as a husband or a father, even though there were clear opportunities for her to help shape how the public saw their relationship. This stands in stark contrast to her earlier posts, where she publicly expressed how much she missed him and how proud she was of his work. If Meghan's silence during Harry's public struggles raised a few eyebrows, it makes you wonder what deeper patterns of imbalance in their relationship could be revealed when looking back at other moments of crisis. Stay tuned for more on this. Things begin to appear even more one-sided when you look back at certain situations, particularly the time when Harry rushed to defend Meghan during the controversial polo event. According to reports, Harry immediately stepped in to shield her, even going as far as sending an email on her behalf to protect her public image. However, when Harry himself found himself in a difficult situation, it seemed that Meghan didn't respond in the same way. This has led many to question whether their relationship is truly as balanced as it once appeared. It almost feels as though Harry has been the one doing all the heavy lifting, constantly stepping up to protect and support Meghan, while she has remained distant and uninvolved during his tough moments. There's also the growing sense that Meghan's priorities may have shifted, with a greater emphasis on her own business ventures. Some have suggested that Meghan always had grand plans for herself and was keen on building her own fortune. When she realized that Harry wasn't as wealthy or as high-ranking in the royal family as she had expected, it seems her perspective on him may have changed. There are even rumors that Meghan's move to Hollywood wasn't solely about starting a family life with Harry, but more about leveraging his title and public persona for her own benefit. The silence she's shown during Harry's recent scandals seems to support this theory, suggesting that she may no longer see him as someone who can offer her financial or social advantages, which could explain her public distancing from him. A particularly telling moment came during an interview where Meghan was promoting her lifestyle brand. Reports say she told Harry to leave the room, even going so far as to call him a poison to her business prospects. Despite being given a chance to speak positively about him, Meghan chose not to say anything supportive or kind about Harry. This lack of positive commentary, particularly when Harry was going through a tough time, has led some to believe this was a deliberate move on her part to show that she wanted to distance herself from him. It seemed that she was trying to protect her brand and career, and in doing so, Meghan may have portrayed Harry more as a liability than an asset. As Meghan increasingly focuses on her business and branding efforts, while Harry is no longer contributing any significant income, the strain on their relationship becomes more evident. Meghan, who once appeared to sacrifice so much to be with Harry, now seems emotionally and publicly detached from him. Harry, on the other hand, has often spoken about their relationship as if it was based on mutual sacrifice and deep love. Yet when looking at how Meghan has acted recently, her behavior doesn't seem to align with that notion. If their relationship truly was founded on love and support, it would seem logical that she would stand by him more during his times of struggle. As things continue to unravel for Harry, there's growing speculation that he could eventually be pushed aside. He gave up his royal ties, his friendships, and his reputation to be with Meghan. Yet when he needed her most, it appears that she wasn't there for him. This has led some to question whether their relationship was ever really based on love, or if it was more about what each of them could gain from the other. Meghan appears to be primarily focused on status and wealth, while Harry seems more driven by the romantic idea of a life in Hollywood. Just as things seem to be getting more challenging for Harry, could it be the very charity he helped create and once held so dear that could be the tipping point in this unraveling story? Only time will tell, so stay tuned for more developments. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, has made the difficult decision to step down from a charity he co-founded many years ago, marking the end of a chapter that was initially filled with promise and purpose. This decision comes after a series of mounting tensions between the charity's management team and the chairwoman of its board, Dr. Sophie Chandoka. The charity, Centabele, was established in 2006 by Prince Harry and Prince Seeiso of Lesotho in honor of Harry's late mother, Princess Diana. The primary mission of Centabele was to support communities in southern Africa that were grappling with the devastating impact of HIV and AIDS, providing much-needed care and resources to those most affected by the epidemic. However, despite the charity's noble intentions, the working relationship between the charity's founders and the board's leadership deteriorated to a point where it became untenable. In a joint statement, both Prince Harry and Prince Seeiso, along with the entire board of trustees, announced that they were stepping down from their roles within Centabele. The reason for this decision was the breakdown in their professional relationship with Dr. Chandoka, whose leadership had become increasingly contentious. Their decision came after a series of disagreements that made it clear that continuing to work together was no longer a viable option. Following the request for Dr. Chandoka's removal from her position as chairwoman, she chose to take the matter to court, claiming that she had raised significant concerns with the UK Charity Commission. Among her allegations were claims of improper conduct, including misuse of roles, gender discrimination, and even instances of racism within the organization. The Charity Commission has acknowledged these concerns and is currently investigating them more thoroughly to understand the depth of the issues raised. In their statement, Prince Harry and Prince Seeiso expressed their profound sadness and regret at the situation. They stated that stepping away from the charity was a decision they made with heavy hearts and expressed their disappointment that it had come to this. Both men emphasized that the working relationship had become so strained that it had reached a point where further collaboration was no longer possible. They also reiterated their support for the trustees' decision to ask Dr. Chandoka to step down, and they made it clear that her decision to challenge this request in court only highlighted how fractured the relationship had become. Harry and Seeiso expressed their intention to share their side of the story with the Charity Commission, hoping to provide clarity on how the situation had escalated to this point. The resignation of Harry and Seeiso was not an isolated decision. Several former trustees also chose to step down, including Timothy Boucher, Mark Dyer, Audrey Kagosa-Dincy, Dr. Kalelo Larothali, and Damian West. In their statements, they too expressed how painful and heartbreaking the decision was. They described the situation as nothing short of devastating and shared that they had lost all trust and confidence in Dr. Chandoka's leadership. They revealed that when Dr. Chandoka took legal action to prevent her removal, they felt they had no other choice but to resign from the charity completely, as they could not continue to work under such strained conditions. The former trustees also noted that their decision to leave the charity was made in the belief that the organization could not afford the prolonged legal battle that would come with such a lawsuit. The legal fees and the potential distraction from the charity's mission were seen as too great a risk. Dr. Chandauka, in her defense, claimed that her tenure at Centabale had always been focused on fairness and equality, ensuring that everyone was treated with respect and dignity. She accused certain individuals of failing to follow the rules, mistreating others, and then using the media to portray themselves as victims. According to Dr. Chandauka, those who dared to speak out against these issues were being unfairly targeted by those in power, which she argued had led to the breakdown in trust within the organization. This entire saga has raised questions about the future of Centabale and the wider impact of this public dispute. The charity, which once thrived as a testament to Harry's commitment to his mother's legacy and his ongoing work in southern Africa, now faces significant challenges. The legal and reputational damage caused by this dispute will likely take time to repair, and it remains to be seen how the charity will move forward without the involvement of its founders and key trustees. As the situation continues to unfold, all eyes will be on Centabale to see how it navigates the fallout from this dramatic and public fallout. Dr. Sophie Chandauka, who was once the chairwoman of Centabale's board, has become the focal point of a storm surrounding the charity's internal conflicts. In a recent public statement, Dr. Chandauka described her decision to speak out as a personal story of defiance, emphasizing how she refused to stay silent when she saw problems unfolding within the charity's leadership. According to her, she witnessed troubling issues such as bullying, harassment, and systemic discrimination, particularly against women and Black women. Dr. Chandauka stated that when she raised these concerns, she faced resistance and what she described as attempts to cover up the problems she had identified. She made it clear that her actions were not motivated by self-interest or personal gain. Dr. Chandauka insisted that she wasn't trying to promote herself, but rather take a stand for what she believed was right. She mentioned that despite the difficulties, she was determined not to walk away, even when the situation became uncomfortable. Dr. Chandauka highlighted that the High Court had agreed to hear her case, meaning that the legal proceedings against her removal would continue. Her decision to take legal action has only intensified the public and legal scrutiny surrounding Centabale, adding a layer of complexity to the ongoing tensions within the charity. As this story continues to unfold, it's becoming increasingly evident that the spotlight on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, isn't just about their charity work, it's about their personal lives as well. The couple, who have been under public scrutiny since their marriage, have become one of the most closely watched pairs in the world. Over the years, their relationship has sparked countless headlines and fueled endless speculation, with the media constantly trying to get a glimpse into what's really happening behind closed doors. Recently, however, there have been growing reports suggesting that the fairy tale image of their marriage may not be entirely accurate. Some insiders claim that their relationship is facing significant strain, with increasing signs that the pressures of their high-profile lives are taking a toll on their bond. The public has been buzzing with rumors about their personal struggles, especially after reports surfaced that Harry and Meghan are no longer sharing a bed. In the world of celebrity relationships, such a detail often signals deeper issues beneath the surface, causing many to question whether their once perfect marriage is beginning to crack. Sources close to Meghan have suggested that she's feeling increasingly frustrated with the ongoing public attention and the weight of constant scrutiny. Meghan, who has always been known for her strong sense of independence, seems to be reconsidering her position in this relationship. There are whispers that she's beginning to feel the strain of living her life under a microscope, and might be contemplating whether it's time to carve out a path for herself, independent of her marriage. The idea that Meghan may be considering going solo has sparked a great deal of speculation. Some have wondered whether she feels that her identity and ambitions are being overshadowed by her connection to Harry, and whether the pressure of being married to someone so publicly entwined with the British royal family has begun to weigh on her. As their personal challenges unfold, it's clear that both Harry and Meghan are navigating a period of intense pressure, and their relationship may be facing a turning point. The world continues to watch closely, waiting to see how things will develop as these revelations unfold in the coming months. There are whispers that Meghan has been seriously contemplating her options, including the possibility of consulting a divorce lawyer. The idea that their marriage could be heading toward a split is raising a lot of eyebrows, especially after everything they've been through together. Some reports even suggest that Meghan has confronted Harry about their relationship, leading to difficult conversations about the future. It appears she's carefully weighing whether she wants to continue with Harry by her side or move on alone. If Meghan does choose to go ahead with a divorce, there would be a lot to think about. One of the big factors is the financial settlement she could receive. If they were to part ways, it could result in Meghan getting a sizable settlement. And there's also the possibility that she could keep her royal title. This has led many to speculate that Meghan might be following a similar path to Sarah Ferguson, who managed to retain her royal title after divorcing Prince Andrew. Sarah, like Meghan, went on to build a successful life after her divorce, which some believe could be part of Meghan's thinking as well. There's growing speculation about whether Meghan might take a similar approach to Sarah Ferguson if she and Harry go their separate ways. Another headline-grabbing topic has been the increasing number of rumors surrounding their marriage. One of the biggest stories making the rounds is that Meghan is already in discussions with book publishers about writing a post-divorce memoir. This has led many to believe that Meghan may already be preparing for a future without Harry, raising even more questions about the true state of their relationship and whether everything is really as happy as it appears. Despite their efforts to maintain the image of a united front, especially at public events like the Invictus Games, many people have noticed that their interactions seem somewhat off. Harry, in particular, has been acting distant, with some observers pointing to his body language as evidence of a lack of connection with Meghan. This has only added fuel to the fire of concerns about the strength of their relationship. While they continue to appear as a cohesive couple, there are plenty of people who believe that their relationship may not be as strong as it seems. Simultaneously, there are reports suggesting that Harry feels trapped in his marriage. Sources have hinted that Harry is anxious about the possibility of losing custody of their children if they were to divorce, a worry that has reportedly been weighing heavily on him. This added stress has made the situation even more complicated. Additionally, it's been reported that Harry has reached out to some of his old friends, sparking further speculation about whether he regrets his decision to marry Meghan, although Harry himself has never publicly made such a claim. These developments, combined with everything else happening behind the scenes, have only intensified speculation about the true state of their marriage. With all the tension and challenges they are facing, how are Harry and Meghan managing the delicate balance of their public and private lives, especially as they try to navigate the pressures of royal obligations while also striving for their independence? On the flip side, Meghan has been making efforts to stay in the public eye, especially with her ongoing media campaign. One of her strategies has been promoting her Netflix series, With Love, Meghan. There are those who believe that Meghan is using this campaign to rebrand herself and reshape how the public perceives her. Having faced a lot of negative press over the years, it appears she's trying to take control of her narrative and show the world a different side of herself. However, many remain unconvinced that her efforts are having the desired impact. Critics argue that her attempts to present her version of events haven't been particularly convincing, and some believe she's struggling to make the impact she aims for. This ongoing media push could be a way for Meghan to prepare for a life without Harry, should they ultimately go their separate ways. Meanwhile, the royal family has been closely monitoring the situation. There's growing frustration within royal circles about how Harry and Meghan are handling things. Some feel that, given that Harry and Meghan no longer carry out royal duties and live in California, they should no longer hold on to their royal titles. Critics, especially within the family, believe that Meghan's behavior and public statements are adding unnecessary tension. Many are questioning why Harry continues to retain his title when he's no longer involved in royal work. There's a rising sense that Harry and Meghan's actions are creating discomfort within the royal family, which only adds to the strain of their situation. Beyond their personal struggles, Harry has been making headlines for his criticism of prominent figures like Donald Trump and Elon Musk. At a recent public event, Harry made some comments that have raised eyebrows. Many are questioning whether this was a wise move on his part, particularly given Trump's power and influence in the U.S. His outspoken opinions could have far-reaching consequences on Harry's future in America. Some believe Harry might have made a misstep by publicly criticizing such influential figures, as it could lead to backlash. This only adds to the uncertainty surrounding Harry and Meghan's future, with questions about how their relationship with the public and their media presence will evolve. All of these developments happening simultaneously have made it hard to predict what lies ahead for Harry and Meghan. What was once seen as a fairy tale marriage is now being questioned by many, with people wondering if they can survive all the stress and challenges they are facing. As the pressure continues to mount, it remains to be seen whether they can navigate these turbulent times and maintain their relationship. The next chapter of their journey is still unfolding, and the public is watching closely to see what happens next. Given the ongoing tensions and the complexities surrounding Harry and Meghan's situation, the future remains uncertain. Keep watching for more updates as their story continues to evolve. In a recent AMA with Lady Colin Campbell, several questions surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's marriage and potential divorce were discussed. When asked if she thought they would divorce, Lady C admitted that she couldn't predict the future, but acknowledged that their relationship appeared to be on unstable ground. She even compared it to her own parents' marriage, where her mother stayed with her father for reasons other than love. Lady C suggested that Meghan might act in ways that give the impression of being in control, possibly using her vulnerability to influence others to do her bidding. She also mentioned that Harry might not end the marriage, as he doesn't seem to be the type of person who would, despite the evident unhappiness in their relationship. Regarding the possibility of a divorce, Lady C stated that if it were to happen, the royal family likely wouldn't intervene, especially when it came to financial matters. In her view, they would let Harry handle it himself, as Meghan has already caused significant challenges for herself in the public eye. She also pointed out that a divorce would depend largely on the couple's financial situation, noting that the children might end up spending more time with their British relatives, which would alter their lives, particularly if raised mostly by Meghan. When asked if Harry had ever confided in any royal family members about feeling deceived or tricked by Meghan, Lady C said that some family members were aware of the problems in his marriage. However, she pointed out that Harry doesn't communicate with them much anymore. According to her, many of those who were once close to him no longer speak to him, and some members of the royal family have stopped all contact altogether. The interviewer also asked Lady C if she thought Harry and Meghan might sign a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, in the event of a divorce. Lady C explained that NDAs are not common for royal family members, especially not like they are for staff. She believed that, even though Meghan's actions might suggest the need for an NDA, it would be ineffective, as the royal family would not offer Meghan money to stay silent. They feel that she has already caused enough trouble by tarnishing her own image. Furthermore, Lady C emphasized that even if the royal family tried to silence Meghan, they knew she could easily leak information to the press anyway. When asked if Harry would ever seek forgiveness or return to the UK after a divorce, Lady C said that his pride would likely prevent him from admitting he was wrong. She didn't believe Harry would return to the UK, especially given how his reputation has been damaged. Lady C also noted that Harry likely dislikes situations where he isn't admired, a trait that Meghan had reportedly used to her advantage in their relationship. Throughout the interview, Lady C remained direct and no-nonsense in her answers, explaining that much of what she shared came from reliable sources or those close to her, and that she believed her opinions were grounded in actual facts. What do you think about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's rocky marriage? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Click on the next video to catch up on more celebrity stories.